My name's Stephen. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes telling you a little bit about our meerkats, and then I will give them some food. Now, our meerkats get fed little and often, so this is probably feed 4, if not 5 of the day. And this particular feed will consist of a special type of pellet, which is called the insectivore pellet, which has all the essential vitamins and minerals that our meerkats need. Now, meerkats come from the Kalahari Desert, so that is Namibia and Botswana. And they can range in terms of the size of the group, anywhere between 10 all the way up to 50 individuals. So in that respect, our group's a little bit smaller. It's at 6, and we have 6 females here at Bristol Zoo Gardens. Typically, numbers hit the 50 mark if there's enough food available. So it is quite rare. All of our males actually live at Wildplace Project, and the reason why we've separated them, as you know, we close tomorrow. And meerkats breed incredibly easily, so we'll have loads of little babies that we would have to potentially breed home. Equally, we're going to have to look at sort of merging the collections at some point, so it just makes things that little bit easier. They're also a least concern species, and the zoo does focus on endangered species and endangered species breeding programs. So because these guys currently have no threat to them in the wild, they're not a priority for breeding. Now, in the Kalahari Desert, conditions are particularly harsh, so they need to work effectively as a team in order to try and ensure that they work effectively and get enough food to be able to support the group. So when they're all heads down looking for food, which is what they're probably doing at the minute, I can't quite see, what you will find is you will have an individual looking out for the safety of the group. And that individual, and if it's a big group, it can be 2, is often called the guard or the sentry. And it's solely their job to make sure that no danger falls on the rest of the group. Now, it's actually a high status position, so it's not given as a punishment, it's given to someone who is respected within the group. And they will pick the tallest area, so a rocky outcrop, cactus, even sometimes another meerkat's head, in order to try and get a really good vantage point. So here, for example, the bubbles do act quite effectively. Now, because they're here in captivity, they don't tend to exhibit that behaviour as much. So when I throw in the food, it's every meerkat for themselves. But in the wild, definitely they will give a little bit more over to ensure the safety of the group. So that individual will scan the horizon, making sure there are no would-be predators, things from the sky like birds of prey, or things from the land like snakes, or even foxes, desert foxes. If they spot something, they will make an alarm call, a shriek, and that will vary depending on what they spot. Now, if you have a little look at their eyes, they have these little dark circles. That's not because they've had a heavy night. It's simply because that helps to diffuse the glare from the eyes. So in that respect, it allows them basically to stare into the sun without it being too harsh. We obviously use sunglasses to protect our eyes, they're doing exactly the same. They also have horizontal pupils, which allow them to get that really wide field of view. And then they have that tripod-like tail, which gives them that good pivot point in order to be able to get up nice and high. If it's a bird of prey, the alarm call will go out and the meerkats know exactly what to do. And that is to get underground as quick as they possibly can. That way they're safe from any would-be predators and they can stay in there until that threat passes, or they can just go in one area and come out another, one of the exit holes from the burrows. So, it's a little different if they spot something on the ground, so something they can effectively go into the burrow after them, or dig them out. So the alarm call will go off to say there's a terrestrial predator, and then the meerkats will come together as a large group. Remember, we said that could be up to 50 individuals. And a collective group of meerkats is called a mob of meerkats. And they do have a bit of a mob-like mentality, so they'll come together, they'll be very angry, they won't have pitchforks or anything like that, but they will have rather impressive teeth, which they will bear. They'll also be hissing, they'll be raising their fur and arching their backs as well. And in that respect, they'll advance towards the predator and scare it off. So those are some of the little physical and behavioural adaptations, but they have some more. If you have a little look at the back, you'll see that they are stripy. And those stripes are unique to each individual meerkat, much in the way that your fingerprints are unique to you. So in theory, no 2 meerkats have exactly the same markings, therefore you can use that as a way to tell them apart. But I am by no means skilled enough to do that. Our keepers are definitely the ones who are skilled. Thankfully though, we have a little microchip behind all our animals' thick skin on their necks, and you can use that to scan them to identify exactly which individual you are working with, or if they need extra food, or indeed medication, making sure the right meerkat gets that. When working underground, they have the ability to narrow their ear canals and also the nostrils in a bid to try and keep all of that sand and debris out. And they also have a third eyelid, a bit like a windscreen wiper, which comes across in order to effectively keep the eyeball clean, in order to keep it debris free. Now I'll finish up quickly by telling you that it's only the dominant male and female that get to breed within the mole, and the idea is they're the genetically strongest and fittest individuals, and they're passing all of those good genes on to the offspring. However, the other females in the group don't get a look in. But that doesn't mean they don't have a job to do. They will actually look after the youngsters, even going as far as to producing milk for them, even though they've never actually been pregnant themselves. And that's something that we call alloparenting. Not unique among meerkats, but what is quite unique is the fact that they will eat scorpions. Now, we threw some scorpions in here they wouldn't know what to do with, because learning to eat and kill a scorpion is a learned behaviour which you're taught as a young meerkat from older meerkats within the mole. So because ours have been captive bred, they wouldn't know what to do. But in the wild, they would bite off the stinger first of all, and then they would wipe the scorpion across the sand to remove any of the exoskeleton, any remaining venom on the exoskeleton, before they then go on to eat. Now we tend to feed them things like crickets, locusts, waxworms, and mealworms as well. And they do get vegetables from time to time, because in the wild they dig up plant roots and tubers to get access to water. As I mentioned at the start of the talk, they're getting a special type of pellet today, which they really do like. So I will feed them shortly and give you the opportunity to have a little look at that. Now, because of avian flu, bird flu, we are not able to feed anything outside, so we want to discourage any animals from coming into the enclosures, any wild birds, which might potentially have bird flu. So I'm going to nip inside and quickly feed them, and I'm going to encourage you to kind of come through in a long conveyor belt. So kind of keep moving in one door and out the other, if that makes sense. If I can just go first.